Look at that. About 3 minutes exactly. All right. So this is a blue-black mill control deck. So this deck has some mill elements to it. So obviously, Overwhelmed Apprentice, Merfolk Secretkeeper, Vantress Gargoyle, Enter the God Eternals, Thief of Sanity. These all put cards in our opponent's graveyard. But the overall win condition of this deck, generally speaking, is not milling them out. So we're looking to put some cards in their bin so we can attack with this 2-mana 5/4, so we can make Drown in the Loch good, so we can cast Into the Story for cheap, so we can use Lochmere Serpent fairly cheaply. One thing that's kind of cheeky about this specific build is this person's put 3 main deck Noxious Grasps in, and I almost cut them, but you know what? There's just so many green and white creatures in this format. Let's just start with 3 main deck Noxious Grasps and call it. Let's just run it. See how often we get punished. Let's do it. There are no Ashiok's in the sideboard. We're gonna hit all red-black aggro. Yep, sounds right. Sure. We deserve this. We deserve this. So, there's merit to milling them there to make Drown in the Loch better, but I also really want to draw this card that's on top of my deck. Can I ever beat this card? I feel like I can't ever beat this card, right? Oh, I'm dumb. This is a counter spell. Alright, take 2. This card's great because it's a counterspell too. Alright, take 2. We're supposed to ego the cat. I don't know about that. Our cards know their casting cost. They know what's up. Well, I have to take that one, right? If I take anything else, they just get them back. Their graveyard is pretty far from 7 cards. It's been that. In for a drown. Don't really need another land. So if they want to trade this 1/1, they can get this spawn into play. They know about the drown though, so that's not particularly useful. Yeah, the Drown in the Loch's been genuinely a genuinely impressive card when we played it this season. This felt like a very good on-rate card. Like, at this point in the game, it's just like a murder counterspell split card. It's like, does whatever we want it to do. Maybe I should have kept the island because it activates Castle. Yeah, that's probably the line. I should have kept the island because it activates Castle. Serpent does eat cats, technically. Well, I wanted to respond to that trigger by fetching, but I didn't get on full control mode fast enough, so I think we'll keep both of these. Hey, Dr. Mr. Punny, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Thanks for the awesome content. Think we could see an Arya. I think she might do okay to have that token, but however we take her is fine. Yeah, definitely. That should be up. Sometime early next week. Thanks for the support. Can't let that one resolve. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, well, I mean, that works out okay for us. Like, they just have counterspell up? So we just, like, can't ever win? There's 7 cards in my bin? Alright, let's cut these Noxious Grasp to the sideboard where they probably should have been from the start. Yeah, let's leave them in the main. I don't care. Sure. Imagine wanting to one-for-one people in the year of Field of the Dead. Yeah, it kind of feels like we're heading that way, Bob. I think we might be instituting a moratorium on traditional control submissions. Yay! They're a green deck! Woo! Green decks! Our Noxious Grasp aren't dead draws. Tonight, we dine like kings. Why? What is up with everybody taking our Drown in the Lochs, chat? What did my Drown in the Lochs do to them? It's not even about boring, Pino. It's just about the fact that this style of control deck that's not proactive just isn't competitive against Field of the Dead. I'd play 5-color Niv, no joke, Hider. You just outgreed people who want to feel smart and get lucky against people trying to go under you. The 4 horsemen, yep. Feeling a little murderous, might delete later, I don't know. Yeah, that's gonna happen regardless of what you play, Hider. Remember that... No, I want to be able to block, chat. So if I play a card here, this can't block. You have to have 4 cards in hand for this to block. Keep y'all secrets. These are my 2/3 life linkers. There are many like them, but these ones are mine. This isn't a mountain, this is a castle. I believe the overlay is working again. The overlay doesn't contain their basic land, but it says their castle is the only land the overlay contains to my opponent. Yeah, we had some people earlier today trying to argue that Arena without the overlay presented more information than Magic Online does. And it very clearly doesn't do that on my application where there's no text boxes unless I mouse over things. It does finally recognize our foil lands, that's true. Oh, I messed up. Oh, they messed up back. They could have drowned this in the lock before I blocked, right? Did you hear My Little Pony sleeves are coming to Arena? Yup. That's an audience to market to. That's a decision, as we like to say.
Come and destroy.
It's for charity. Okay. Okay. So you only get the creepy sleeve for a good cause. Got it? Excellent. Waiting on naked anime sleeves. I hope not. Why? Why do my Timmy cards never have animations, chat? Why? Why do my Timmy cards never have animations? I'm so let down. I want this one to be a pallbearer at my funeral so it can let me down one more time. All right, Noxious Grasp, yep. Legion's End, fine, maybe. Tyrant Scorn sounds great. I'm probably gonna bring my top end down a little bit. Thief of Sanity is unnecessary. They're a deck with shock in it. I'll trim a Thought Erasure. I like leaving in the 2 Loch Nests at the top just as a way to close. I like to kill people. I thought only mythics have animations. I don't think that's true, right? Are there angels? Are all those angels mythics? I could have sworn, what's it called? The uncommon lords have an animation, or had one. The robber trigger did resolve. It hit a blank. Yeah, Cry has one, Bedevil. Yeah, there's a bunch of ones that, yeah. I feel like the animators need to just, like, talk to R&D and just be like, is this a Timmy card? And when the answer is yes, they're like, alright, gotta animate it. They took my Legion's End. Let's nip this right in the bud. Oh yeah, they added one to the Thief of Sanity. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Robber of the Rich. I feel like Robber of the Rich requires you to jump through too many hoops for it to be good, and half the time when you finally enable it, it just ends up drawing a land anyways and doing nothing. So I've been supremely underwhelmed by this card. Like there, they enabled it and it just found a land and did nothing. How good is a 2/2 haste for 2 mana? I think that's underrate. I think that rate is not good enough. I think I'm in for another Vantress Gargoyle here, right? The first one's probably going to die to Cindervines, but the second one will be good. They could attack in with this and let me gain 2 so they could Thought Erasure me. And Legion's End something? So, I actually want to kill this one, right? Because when I kill this, it's going to make this bigger. And this can continue to grow. Whereas this is only going to be a 4. I'm guessing because the log doesn't know how many cards start to deck. Yeah, that's probably true. I was thinking you could just start from 60, but that's true. If it doesn't echo out 60, you might just not know from the start. Alright. So, we gain 2 here, but they get to Erasure me and Legion's End me. That card is so vomit-inducing. It's kind of unreal, like, how good Embercleave is when it's good. It's like, it's like Teamer Battle Rage ++. I've been wrong by that card, yeah, so if we all... It's very good. Watch the unbanned Stoneforge, you could Embercleave in Modern. I don't know about that one in Modern. I don't know. If they activate their castle, they can trade their robber for both by gargoyles. And, like, the problem from here is every creature they play is just really good, right? Good lord. I don't have 4 cards. Wow, this deck seems bad. Oh, this one. We've got some stinkers in here, chat. We've got some stinkers. I like to give them, like, 3 shakes. So, like, we're on the play for the 3rd game here. We'll probably play at least 1 more, but... yeah. Is Priest bugged? Priest is bugged when targeting both players. As of last night. I don't know if today's patch fixed it, but as of last night, when we tried it before the patch, it was bugged. Sure, we'll bottom Grasp here. The juxtaposition of this deck after Chiba Oko is something. Yeah, like, honestly, the contrast is good, right? Like, playing a collection of just, like, individually powerful cards versus, like, trying to lean into some of these cards that are, like, okay playable, but, like, ultimately, like, trying to lean into synergies. Nothing in the patch. I mean, that's unsurprising, right? All right. Fabled Passage gives us a 4th land next turn. Sounds good. Sign me up. Once upon a time, there was a basic forest. Sure. Yep. Priest is still bugged. Sounds right. I have 5 cards in the bin, so drawing the Loch's just murder at the moment, or just counterspell. Do I care about Cindervines? Here's a question. If I don't counter the Cindervines, is it going to kill me? I feel like the answer to that question might be yes. No, it won't. I don't know if I believe you. Oh, that was wrong, right? I should Murderous Rider there because it's more mana efficient. Yeah, and then super punish, right? Because I can't Thought Erasure now. Just my whole turn's behind. Because I could have, if I would have drawn a black source, I could have also gone Rider plus Noxious Grasp. Yeah, sequencing was very incorrect. Yeah, rightfully punished. And when our deck's bad like this one, you can't make mistakes, otherwise you just lose. Our deck's got a little bit underpowered. Yeah, I'm just like, never gonna be able to cast this Thought Erasure, basically. Well, I guess now is your last card of spell. Alright, well. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Yeah, it's a deck like we were talking about earlier where the power level is ultimately kind of low, so you really can't afford to ever make a mistake, because if you make a mistake, the power level of the deck's not going to be able to pull you through. Although, our opponent's deck's probably also a little bit below the average power curve in the format, so maybe we have a shot here. This is a 4/4 and I've got 2 riders, so we're actually ahead at the moment. And didn't get Ember Cleaved this game. The lack of having an ability to, like, interact with problems like enchantments and artifacts reminds me of why we ended up turning the blue-black Kefnet deck into a Sultai Kefnet deck last season. You ever mill yourself just enough for the gargoyle? The gargoyle doesn't depend on us being milled. The gargoyle depends on them being milled. None of our cards care about the contents of our graveyard. Alright, we're on the scoreboard at least. Against creature decks, we're probably okay. Decks that play to the board. A really smart Magic player once said, being good at competitive Magic is the art of drawing meaningful conclusions from statistically insignificant sample sizes. I could not agree more with that definition. It's very, very apt. Thanks for the 11 months, L'Assault God. New set. Standard rotation is like Christmas. It comes once per year, and it makes me very happy when it does. And a glance that looks like a bottle of Jack Daniels. Don't you judge me. You try talking to Twitch chat for 8 hours a day and tell me what you feel like drinking. Alright. I think I'm going to hold up Drown in the Loch this turn. I might stream Saturday night. We'll see. We'll see what I'm feeling like and who else is on. Oh, I can't block now. That's a good line. God, this card seems real bad. This card's been bad every time we've played it. Oh, they don't know how my card works. God bless us, everyone. This card's a lot better when my opponent doesn't know how it works. Alright, well, maybe after I trash talked it, we'll just kill them in 4 turns. I believe in this Vantress gargoyle. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, let's not risk them drawing a thing. Land sounds great. Let's play an 0-4. Yeah, we're +4 life, so like it's a big deal. 4 is a lot of life. So they can go land, Worthy Knight, Anthem. We block their 3/2, we take 4 down to 10. Next turn we go shock this in, play Overwhelmed Apprentice, scry into a 5th land, play Murderous Rider, set up for Enter the God Eternals the following turn. Or else just like setting up to kill them, right? Like they're dead in 2. Weird. So this costs 1 less for each knight they control. So it was like free for them to play this out before playing this. Maybe another little misstep. So, my thoughts on playing this deck so far is it kind of feels like we're playing some low quality cards to like try and make our cards that are already okay better. Like we played Drown in the Loch in Sultai Keftin and it felt very reasonable there. And I feel like it would probably be reasonable in this deck, like without cards like Merfolk Secretkeeper or Vantress Gargoyle. Like this card seems pretty close to on rate. Like Scry 2 make an early blocker is okay. So I feel like with just Overwhelmed Apprentice and not some of these other like lower quality cards, we could be better off. We'd like put some good cards in our deck. Yeah, to quote past Jeff, just put a bunch of good cards in your deck, right? Just want all my removal spells here, I think. I guess an 0-4 is okay against aggro. The 0-4 might be on rate. Maybe. I don't know, like I said, I think I might put a moratorium on accepting traditional control decks in this format unless something changes, because like it feels like without having a real win condition, it's just you just struggle too much against like the top end of this format. If you're looking for a controlling deck, a deck we played at the end of last night's stream as we were winding down, we played an Esper Reanimator control deck. And it actually felt really good. So it was like, had a lot of traditional Esper control elements, but it also just like had a bunch of Agent of Treacheries. Moratorium. Kill it. End it. No more. No life. Thanks for the 14 months. Welcome back. Yeah, Esper Reanimator was last night. I actually put a page up for it on my website too. So if you click standard decks on my website, you'll find a link there. That's the closest thing to a traditional control deck I've played this season that's felt reasonable. Yeah, all the Merfolk Synergy cards were an excellent. Definitely just want to kill this dead. Killing their 2-drop makes their 3-mana knight worse too. Because the 3-mana knight, in order to impulse, it has to have another knight in play. It's a pretty good 3 here. Oh, baby. Decent aggro decks in the new format. Yeah, red-black aggro and red-black aristocrats have both felt very reasonable to me. We're going bottoms up here, just looking for another blue source. As always, you can find my favorite decks from each day on my website here. And there's also a dedicated standard decks page. I think we're up to 6 or 7 decks on there, a few of which are aggressive. I'm actually going to block here. Because if they want to pump their creature to kill my 1/2 and have that be their entire turn, I'm okay with that. And they don't want that to be their entire turn, so they're just like, you know, call. I think the red-black aggro decks are better. I've been very underwhelmed by the what's it called decks, the mono red decks in this format. I mean, it's definitely possible that 26 lands is too many, Crazy Duck. Like, there's 4 once in the deck, too. Like, just cut the castle and play another wolf. If you really want to be super results-based, the easiest way to do it is when you're flooding out, look and see if you have the castle. Because the castle's the 26th land. You know, Twitch must be having... Can someone tell Solera Twitch must be having issues? Because someone else commented they had a flickering problem earlier today. I've not dropped any frames though, so the problem must be on Twitch's end. Trust me when I say that the Golos ramp decks are a better 0 fun deck than the dance decks. Your opponents will have fun when you're playing the dance deck because the dance deck is bad and they're likely to win. Yeah. Now I'm just gonna draw a card. I only have 1 card in my hand, and I'm at 24. I'm just going to pay 2 life to draw a card here. I will say, that I've been pleasantly surprised with how good Questing Beast is. So, Field, in the last standard season, the Field of the Dead decks felt like they pushed both traditional control and traditional mid-range out of the format. And with Questing Beast being a card that's seeing play now, Questing Beast feels like it's a card that can put traditional mid-range back on the map. Although traditional control still feels like it struggles. I am not planning to accept Brawl submissions at this time.
I will defend the weak at every opportunity.
So, unless I'm wrong and Brawl ends up having a best of 3 queue, I'm really not interested in playing best of 1 Magic on stream. If Standard ends up being awful and Historic ends up being awful, we'll definitely explore other options, but as long as Standard feels reasonable and Historic is fun, I'm going to focus my arena content on those 2 things. How did I determine scrying versus drawing? So in that instance, I decided I wanted to draw because I wanted to give myself a chance to hit an answer for Gideon. Best of 3 isn't even about having sideboards, though. The reason why I would prefer best of 3, the reason why I prefer best of 3 as a Magic format is because best of 3 gives you a chance to mitigate mana variance, and it gives you a chance to know that your opponent's playing an aggressive deck and to make an intelligent mulliganing decision because they're playing an aggressive deck. Best of 3 is about a whole lot more than just sideboards. I should have bottomed this. I'm gonna get rid of it now. Let's not make 2 mistakes. Maybe I save it to kill the Fall Might Nire. I don't know. I could go either way there.
I will lend you my strength.
I think expecting Brawl to be historic is silly. I think that's very unlikely to happen. I think having a historic commander option, though, is good. Like, hopefully there's a 100 card historic commander option. I mean, I don't know that that's fair. I think calling best of 1 not real Magic is kind of elitist and crappy, kind of an elitist and crappy thing to do. I think saying you don't like best of 1 Magic is fine, because I definitely don't like best of 1 Magic, but it's definitely real Magic. If Brawl got a 4-player version, I mean, if I won $1 million, I'd never stream again, but talking about things that aren't going to happen probably isn't very useful. Thanks for the 5 months, Captain Obvious. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Movie ticket for 2 hours entertainment, $10 to $15. Subbing to Jeff for 80 plus hours of monthly entertainment with Twitch Prime, free. That's true. I was actually going to say that's not true. I'd still probably stream 10 to 15 hours a week or more if I didn't need money. I just wouldn't take people's money anymore. Right now I need the Bezo bucks though, so keep them coming. We got mortgage payments and child and daycare to pay for. Yeah, Nifty, but Prime is like the Twitch Prime is basically free for most people, cuz like I wouldn't pay money for Twitch Prime, but like I pay for Amazon anyway, so it's an add-on bonus. Yeah, the Disguised Toast future. That's the dream, right? I think WotC won't try to get 4-player Brawl Historic Commander. You just can't see in the foreseeable future. I think the amount of engineering time and effort it would take to implement multiplayer in a reasonable way on Arena is probably not worth the amount of revenue they would see in return from implementing it. Would be my estimation. And obviously I could be wrong on that. Result to sub to avoid ads. Well, I mean, like, in this fictional made-up world where I'm wealthy and don't need money anymore, like, I wouldn't run Twitch ads either, right? Like, I wouldn't need an esports team. And in reality where I live, 3 minutes every hour and a half or so is fine. To be fair, as much as I think it's awesome that Mythgard has multiplayer, and the fact that it has a 2v2 mode is really slick, Mythgard was also a digital-only game that was designed in mind with making multiplayer a possibility in their client, right? Like, Magic wasn't designed from the ground up to be a multiplayer game on digital. How's this deck doing? Well, we're about to get Golos Field, so buckle up. Thanks for the Prime support there, Bookabar. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Thanks for keeping me around this month with that. I noticed you talking about domestic politics the other night. Are you interested in foreign politics? I mean, to the degree in which they impact the United States, I guess, if I'm being a selfish individual. So, like, most major... we kind of live in a global economy, right? So, like, things that happen on an international scale do impact the U.S. to a large degree. Am I interested in UBI? I think UBI is a very important thing, and I'm very glad that Andrew Yang has been on the debate stages talking about it. I guess we just try and kill them here, huh? Like the goal is just like attack for 5 3 times here. Maybe we can punk them out. I am going to admit to not being particularly well educated or informed on everything that's going on in Hong Kong. I have the gist of it from watching Philip DeFranco every day, but that's about it. So, we're done here. Feels like we're done here. Yeah, he puts out news videos every day. He has a whole like news org that he works with now. They do independently research stuff too. Oh look, just an 8/8 that draws 4 cards. Just an 8/8 that draws 4 cards. Is that all? Is that all? Alright, I got some egos. Tyrant, Scorn out. Noxious Grasp out. Enter's kind of bad. Legion's End cleans up zombies. I don't think Duress is good enough. Afternoon, nerd girl. Well, almost afternoon for you. All right. Yeah, if the gargoyle hadn't gotten stolen, we might have run the distance there, but then they also had an 8/8 flyer, so it's just like... Tyrant kills Hydra. I guess, like, the problem is that, like, it kills the Hydrate Crease, but, like, how do I win the game past that? Does have a pile of cards in their hand still? Hope their client crashes. Hope the client crashes has been a real out lately. Yeah, this is probably gonna be the last match with this deck. I'm glad we hit Golos Field. I just wanted to be able to highlight some of the struggles this style of deck can have. All right, I feel like if we can win this matchup, it involves a hand like this, right? One thing everyone should know who's interested in the Hong Kong situation is that Hong Kong's economy relative to China's GDP has fallen from a peak of 27% in 1993 to less than 3% in 2017. Hong Kong is less and less relevant for mainland China each year, economically speaking. Well, it is all about the money, right? That's, at the end of the day, what makes everything go round. As sad as it is to say. Is Field of the Dead problematic design in the long term? So, one thing I would like to say is, well, for first, this is bad sequencing on my opponent's part for Once Upon a Time. You should always wait till you take your draw step for the turn to cast your Once Upon a Time. So that way you get to make this decision with a little bit of information, a little bit more information. Marginal, but, you know. In general, these are actually great cards. In general, I don't think designs like Field of the Dead are inherently awful if the goal is to push certain archetypes out of the format for a little while. You could argue that 15 months of traditional do-nothing Dirtle control not being particularly playable isn't necessarily a terrible thing for Magic in general, right? Yeah, so like, and honestly, hey, Reed and Tintino, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. In general, I think rephrase. I was actually really impressed with Questing Beast because, for example, before Eldraine, I would have told you that Field of the Dead made traditional mid-range as well as traditional control largely unplayable. But with the introduction of Questing Beast into the format, I don't think traditional mid-range is unplayable any longer. Questing Beast has been incredibly impressive to me when it comes to giving the traditional mid-range decks a chance against these decks. Stephen Douglas Weeks, thanks for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I don't think you're alone in that, Ago. I think having a deck like Golos Field be the top end of what you have to play against is reasonably better for a lot of players, because something new Magic players especially struggle with is understanding when they're supposed to concede against traditional control that's dirtling. And like, the Golos deck is very overbearing to the point where it's abundantly clear when you should be picking your stuff up. Like, last year, people didn't realize that the third time they plus their Teferi, their 5-mana Teferi, the game is over, they should concede. Like, people didn't realize that. Wow, they're taking Thief and not this, so they're leaving us a 2-turn clock. There's a reason why we have a garbage time emote, right? That the game's over, but we're still playing kind of thing. Maybe having a bunch of Disdainful Strokes and Thief of Sanity is enough for this matchup. I don't know, I guess Vantress Gargoyle's doing some heavy lifting here too, huh? He says before it gets destroyed by a Naturalize. Yeah, honestly, all things considered, if the current standard format, like, if you ask me to pick out the top decks and what other people are doing, I kind of don't mind where the format's at now, because it's kind of refreshingly different than what we've seen in previous seasons. Like, it feels like we've hit a season where the best low-to-the-ground aggro deck is no longer mono-red, which hasn't been true for a long time. Mono-red's been the best low-to-the-ground aggro deck for a long while now. And traditional control is really floundering when it was pretty reasonable for a long time. So I think that's the real appeal to Standard, is that these different types of things become good and bad And you know, there's ebbs and there's flows. Someone said, how do I feel about Thief overall in the format? Thief sucks against all the 3-mana Planeswalkers. Thief is really awkward against Oko because they can -5 their Oko and trade you a food for it. It is not a good scene. Really unfortunate that I failed to draw a land here yet again. If I would have drawn a land here, I could have played this and held up a counterspell. Now I think I just have to hold up a counterspell. I'm playing Hearthstone. I can't attack them and leave up counters. Hero of Hearthstone. Do. The hero of Hearthstone. Alright, I would like to drown your veil. This interface is great, by the way. Props to WotC for cleaning up the countering counters on the stack. That is much appreciated compared to what we had previously. I guess that was a mistake, right? I should not have fought. Yeah. I could have just Legions ended or Glass Casketed that, right? Yeah, maybe I was just supposed to Glass Casket there. I mean, I've always said nice things about Arena when there's nice things to talk about. How greedy are you? Okay, they're conservative. That's smart. All right, what's in your hand? How screwed am I? Second crease is screwed, huh? They don't have 19 cards in their deck. I guess we might actually mill them here, huh? There's a chance we legit mill them. Man, I really hope the moto lag we had this morning was a fluke or something that gets addressed, because the Magic Online lag was really bad this morning. I get 2 shots at a land here as well because I get to play Growth Spiral. Yeah, I feel like Moto was jealous of the younger kid in town, like, trying to take its crown of being the laggiest program around. Alright, so the correct line here is Thought Erasure plus Glass Casket, right? Golos doesn't really accomplish anything. It depends on if you're looking to respect aggro or looking to respect control. So, for instance, these Golos decks tend to not have a lot of 2-mana plays, and they tend to have a lot of 3-mana plays. So I think playing Glass Casket in the Golos decks makes a lot of sense. They only have 1 field left. Is that true? Yep. Checks out. So as is the answer with most things Magic related, it depends. Yes, we do. We do also get to borrow this. So that hopefully runs them out of win cons. Oh wait, I take their Blast Zone, right? Because that's how they're not dying. Yeah, Blast Zone's the take. How does it make you feel on the inside, opponent? Does it make you feel sad? Oh, I have so many of their things. I have so many of their things. I have so many of their things, chat. I feel happy. Maybe Thieves and Disdainful Strokes make this matchup okay. And this is why, like, people are asking, why aren't we just conceding and moving on to the next one? This is why I think it's important to actually play games. Like, take a second, figure out what we're doing and why we're doing it. Is it good, bad, otherwise, etc.? Man, can we drown this giant in the Loch? Man, the Loch is deep. Don't trip, you'll drown. And to be fair there, the only reason we were really in that game was because of Thief of Sanity, right? The Disdainful Strokes on some key cards were also important too. But Thief really tied the room together, right? And I feel like cut some of the bad cards, play some more of the reasonable ones is probably good logic here. I think that 1 mana 0/4, we probably just cut both of those and go up to 4 Thieves in the main deck. Is probably a good start. Get some more Disdainful Strokes into the sideboard somewhere. Because, like, we trounced our way through the creature decks we played against, right? An unchecked Thief of Sanity backed up by... Yeah, it can, right? Seems pretty good. In fact, the way that game played out, maybe... So, something else to consider there, and this is something we're going to want to think about in the third game, and if you look at that game that we played... Something that was pretty key there was my opponent never hit a Field of the Dead early, right? Like, how different does that game end up playing out if my opponent has a Field of the Dead in the first 4 turns, right? Which is, again... You want to think not just about the results, but what happened in order to achieve those results. Like, is what we experienced likely the norm, or did we hit some type of extreme, most likely? We'll shoot. All right. How has this deck been? Unsure. Maybe a little middling. The jury is out. Goose and Broco is definitely a better duo than the other. All right, hopefully they growth spiral into a 4-mana spell and we, like, stroke their 4-mana ramp spell and then untap and ego them would be ideal. And here we go. There's a Field of the Dead. So, like, again, it feels like... And this is what I really felt like last time we were trying to play blue-black is like, why am I not just splashing Assassin's Trophy? It's like, I can name Field of the Dead at this point and lock them to one of them. But I still got to get through the rest of it now. Yep. Yes, please try and tap my black source while I have Drown in the Loch in hand. Thanks, game. Now, if they stumble for a hot second here, oh, I guess with this, I can't even do anything about these, right? Feels bad, man. We're gonna put my gargoyle in a little box in the ground. I don't know about that, Punchworthy. Like, Gargoyle plus Thief are like okay tools, right? They don't seem like completely unreasonable tools for like approaching what they're doing. I don't think I want to make them use the Veil. Because, like, in the event I draw, like, a black source and a discard spell, I can, like, Thought Erasure them and then Drown in the Loch the Veil so I don't get 2-for-1 by the Veil. Yeah, the distinct lack of a Field of Ruin in this format really sucks. Like, I think a deck like this could probably be reasonable if I could just play 3 or 4 Field of Ruin in my mana base. Because, like, I have tools to clean up the board, I just can't keep up with the non-stop pressure that comes even after every time I interact with them. They have a Veil of Summer in their hand that we saw from casting a spell earlier. So, it could have attempted to counter it, but we would have been sad with the results. It did kind of draw us 2 cards in a way. The castles are very good. Castles are very good. I need ways to actually kill them. All right. I mean, that qualifies, right? So, I think I want to Rider this and then Drown the Veil. Yeah, definitely Alcohol. That deck was great. It felt really smooth. I got you, Ostin. Thanks for keeping me around. Just have another, what's it called? Another Golos. Maybe it takes a little bit longer to become a laggy mess, but it does still eventually become a laggy mess. That was actually a pretty good draw. Oh, I'm just dead though, right? Yeah, because they have Glass Casket. Oh, I can't block anyways, right? Even if they didn't have Glass Casket, I can't block. Gargoyle not being able to block was awkward more than once. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if we're gonna take another crack at this, step one would be get rid of cards like this that aren't constructed playable. This one felt close, maybe. Jury's out on this one, but like play for Thief of Sanity. Even if it's a little awkward against some of the 3-mana planeswalkers, this card is like appropriate power level when it gets to do its thing at least. You know, maybe you just lean into this and like, for example, Duress is technically a card that puts cards in their bin, right? So like maybe you just lean into that and you play more discard spells. Discard spells help your Thief of Sanity connect through their planeswalkers. And they kind of fill in and make your drown in the Lochs better. Yeah, and you can play just other constructed playable cards at the top end, like Kefnet or Press. I don't know, Marty. This card, I'm up. One of the things we've talked about, decks like this struggling, is like not being able to close. If we'd have drawn this card against the Golos deck, we probably would have killed them, right? Like, I think this is a card I would actually be interested in exploring a little bit more of, because this is a card that like actually like ends the game. End of the Stories kind of seemed like poop. Like by the time we got up to 7 cards in their graveyard, we were usually established pretty well, I think. So I think that one was kind of a miss for me. So like if we're more of a tap out control deck that's just like playing a couple cards like this to make Drown in the Loch extra good, I could see that being okay. I think you also probably want to just explore the idea of having a third color in here. So I actually accepted, I had 2 different people submit similar versions of this deck. So there's another one in the queue that we're going to get to next week again. So I think we'll try some of these ideas when we get there. I don't know about Brazen Borrower. Like, I guess it's a little bit of pressure, but like that also doesn't really interact with the board in a very permanent way. So I'm not 100% sold on that. Yeah, and like with Fabled Passage, like, right, like you play 8 green, you play like 7 green shocks in a forest with 4 Fabled Passages, and suddenly you have 12 green sources. Yeah, Drawn from Dreams is probably better than Into the Story. So we will definitely be revisiting some kind of Drown in the Loch control when it comes back up to the top of the queue again. But those are my thoughts on after playing it here.